it's wrong for the media to promote a certain beauty standard? Hi, my name is Desirae Mills, and today I'm going to tell you why I think it's wrong for the media to promote a certain beauty standard. I think that we're all different in our own way, and I think that it's important to embrace that. There can be people that weigh more or are really skinny. I don't think it matters. I think that we should be looking for other things besides just beauty. I also think that a lot of this is pointed towards teenagers. I think we feel the most pressure because they're trying to get to us when we're younger, so we start believing these things as we get older. If you're a teenager watching this, do you feel the pressure to look a certain way? Because I know that personally I look at magazines and TV and I'm like, oh, I need to work out every day so I can get my body to how these models look. Now I'm going to talk to you about some problems that all this media standard causes. It causes people to lose their self-confidence, lose their self-esteem, and not feel as beautiful. It also has many health problems such as anorexia, bulimia, and depression. The first point I want to talk to you about is it making people feel less confident and beautiful, and how bullies factor into all this. They can be in your schools, also online, like cyberbullying. Now I'm going to read a real-life account of this girl that dealt with cyberbullying and bullies at her school. Her name's Natalie, and this was written by Patrick Sawyer. Natalie's torment at hand of her cyberbullies reached such a pitch at one stage she even considered taking her own life. Though she never went through with it, Natalie did begin self-harming, scratching herself till she bled and quite literally tearing out her own hair. It is all the more impressive, then, that this once chronically insecure and near-broken schoolgirl is now, at the age of 15, a motivational speaker and mentor, encouraging other victims to stand up to their tormentors. But it took a long time before Natalie from York could even consider talking about her horrific experience of cyberbullying in public. Her torment began in 2008 when she first signed up for Facebook, and a few months later, she linked her online profile to ForumSpring, another social networking site. The half-Iranian schoolgirl had already begun suffering bullying at school from her pupils, making fun of her weight and her Middle Eastern looks. She was insulted, spat on at times, and attacked at her school. It was really awful, but at least when I got home, it was over and I felt safe, said Natalie. But when the bullying began to spread online, she suddenly felt as if she had nowhere to hide. I got messages from people telling me to kill myself and saying that the world would be better off without me and that everyone hated me. Soon I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I lost all self-esteem and became paranoid about people. I couldn't trust anyone because I found out even some people who were nice to me at school began to send me abusive messages anonymously online, said Natalie. At one stage, I even began to feel suicidal, and I started to self-harm. The problem with cyberbullying is that it is done from the comfort of your own home, and there is nowhere to escape it. It is ironic that Natalie's father, who fled Iran in the wake of the overthrow of the Shah in 1979, didn't suffer the sort of abuse and harassment experienced by his daughter. He was really shocked it was happening to me, she said. He never had any problems when he came to this country, and he was really angry about the other children doing this to me. When a sixth former came forward to say she had witnessed some of the physical bullying to which Natalie had been subjected, teachers at her school in New York intervened to protect her and discipline the offenders. But that still left the problem of cyberbullying. Natalie complained about the abuse on ForumSpring and linked her Facebook page to the Facebook reporting mechanism, but received no response. It was very disappointing, she said. Facebook should have done more. I'm not sure that cyberbullying can ever be stopped completely, but at least people can be made aware of the problem. It was to this end that Natalie began to get involved with youth work and signed up to the cyber mentoring program run by Beat Bullying charity. Helping others deal with online bullying helped Natalie regain her own sense of self-esteem and self-confidence. Now she even takes part in motivation speaking at schools and conducts assemblies and citizenship classes. It was when I got involved in youth work that I started getting my self-confidence back. Other people could see what I was doing, and they began to respect me as well as the bullying stopped. Now I'm going to talk to you about some statistics of teenagers that are actually dealing with cyberbullying. According to CNN, 23% of teens report that they are or have been the target of cyberbullying. Also, I found some of these other statistics pretty shocking. 23% of teens report that they, oh, just kidding, I already said that one. Another 15% of teens admit that they have or are currently bullying someone online. Also, severe anxiety include panic disorders, generalized anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and 8.3% of teens today are dealing with this. It says that 5 to 8% of teens attempt suicide yearly, with an additional 16% seriously considering suicide within the past 12 months. I personally think that this is just, it's just devastating because we have to go through life like worrying about all this stuff and having to just deal with this when really our goal should be focusing on school, getting out, growing up and all that stuff, but it's not. The next point I want to talk about is health issues. The first being anorexia. Now, I can't remember the exact definition, but this is what it says. Anorexia is an eating disorder characterized by weight loss, difficulties maintaining an appropriate body weight for height, age, and stature, and in many individuals, disordered body image. People with anxiety or anorexia generally restrict the number of calories or types of food they eat. And some people with this disorder also compulsively purge vomit, and they use laxatives, or they binge eat. Now, anorexia can be a problem that many people of different ages, genders, races, anything can deal with. It may not be very well known, but it's out there and you may not even notice it. There's also another thing called bulimia, and it's really similar to anorexia, but it is a serious, potential life-threatening eating disorder characterized by a cycle of binge eating and behaviors such as self-indulging vomiting. So that's pretty much the same thing as anorexia, but it's a little different. Also, people will become depressed, and this is what leads to self-harm and even possibly suicide. The next thing is plastic surgery. Now, these surgeries are extremely expensive, and on top of that, there is a great risk for complications during the surgeries, as with any surgery. Is it really a risk that you want to take? That's a question I would ask myself. But, there's people out there every day that do it because they're so caught up in this whole beauty standard that they're like, I have to do this and I will feel more beautiful and look like the pretty people that are on the magazine covers and everything. Here's just one example of a magazine cover that is just out there for everyone to see and to make them want to look that way. Lastly, beauty is not the only thing that matters. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, and when they have these standards out there, people don't feel good about themselves. They just become, sad, depressed, all these things that I've talked about. A quote by Khalil Gibran says, "Beauty is not in the face, beauty is a light in the heart." And what this means to me is it's saying that you want to ignore these standards that media puts out there. Like, beauty is how you feel about yourself, and what matters is what's in your heart. I hope you learned a lot about the damages that the media standards can put on people and the effects that it can have. Thank you.